There's a video that went around this month where an economist looked into the camera and said home prices have peaked. We're entering a protracted decline and that he would not count on the housing market recovering, and I'm quoting, for a very long time. Not this year and not in 5 years. And people believed it because he said it calmly and he said it with confidence and he had a book coming out. Now, I've sold real estate in Los Angeles County for 10 years and I've closed through more than one market that everybody swore was about to fall apart. So let's do something that video never did. Let's look at the actual numbers. Here's what I'm going to give you in the next 9 minutes. Number one, what the national data actually says as of right now, August 2026. Not a forecast, reported numbers. Number two, the three things that made 2008 a crash and where each of those three sits today. I'm going to be straight with you. One of them is genuinely worth watching. Number three, what's actually happening specifically in Los Angeles County, because the housing market is not a real thing. Hawthorne is not Compton. Gardena is not Inglewood. National headlines do not close escrow. Locals numbers do. And number four, if you're a homeowner sitting on equity who needs to sell and buy your next place, what you actually need to do with all of this information. And last one is most of my business, so make sure you stay until the end. Let's start national, because that's the level that video was operating on. The most recent existing home sales report from the National Association of Realtors covers June 2026, and here's what's in it. The national median existing home price is $440,600, and that is up 1.8% from a year ago. And it is the 36th consecutive month year-over-year price increases. 36 months, 3 straight years. So I want you to sit with that, because the video said that we've reached the peak and home prices are declining as of now. Second, sales volume. Existing home sales are running at an annual pace 4.09 million. That's up 2.8% from a year ago, and that means more homes are trading hands than last year, not fewer. Third, inventory. 1.56 million homes on the market nationally, 4.6 months of supply, and that is essentially unchanged from a year ago. Now, why does that matter? Well, because a crash needs a flood of supplies, and prices peak when far more people need to sell than they want to buy. And 4.6 months is not a flood. 6+ months is when you start talking about a buyer's market, and we're not there. And the median home nationally is going under contract in 28 days. 28 days is not a market in collapse. 28 days is a market with real active buyers in it. And here's the number that surprised most people though. Affordability has actually gotten better year over year. The affordability index went from 95.5 to 102.3. And NAR's chief economist put it plainly. Wage growth is currently outpacing home price growth. And that's the opposite of the story that you were being told. Okay, someone's already in the comments typing, Jose, they said the same thing in 2007. That's fair. So let's actually look at what made 2008 a crash, because it wasn't vibes. It was 3 specific things. Leg one, bad loans. In 2008, people were in homes they could not afford on loans that were designed to reset and blow up. And when values dipped, they walked. Today, distressed sales, that's foreclosures and short sales combined, are only 2% of all transactions nationally. In the fourth quarter of 2009, distressed sales were 32% of the market. At the end of March 2009 peak, roughly half of everything that was selling was distressed. 2% versus 32%. That is not the same market. That is not even the same species of the market. Leg two, equity. In 2008, millions of people owed more than the home was worth. And today, homeowners are sitting on more than $34 trillion in equity. And that is a shock absorber. A homeowner with equity who loses their job, they don't get foreclosed on. They sell, they take a check, and they move. Equity turns what would have been a foreclosure into a normal transaction. Leg three, supply. In 2008, we had built way too many houses. Today, California's own Department of Housing and Community Development says the state needs roughly 2.5 million homes over the next 8 years to meet the demand. And in 2025, California issued about 34,700 residential construction permits, which is down from the year before. So do the math. We are not close, not even in this decade. Now, I told you I'd be straight with you. So here's the part most agents leave out. There is a soft spot. FHA loan delinquencies hit 11.9% in the first quarter of 2026, and that's the highest since 2021. Overall delinquencies have ticked up about 4.4%. That's real, and I am watching it. But watch what that actually means. Rising FHA delinquencies in a market with $34 trillion in equity and 4.6 months produces more inventory. It doesn't produce a 50% collapse. Those are different outcomes, and the difference matters enormously in your decision. Stress in a slice of the market is not the end of the market. Now, let's get local, because this is where I actually live. Per the California Association of Realtors, the June 2026 median home sales in Los Angeles County was $910,370. Now, that is up 0.7% from June 2025. And sales, well, we're up 6.8% year over year. So prices up and sales up. But here's the part I really want you to hear. And it's not the part national videos can ever tell you. The county median is 910. My farm area is nowhere near that. Those are Zillow figures from this year, and I'll caveat them in the way I'd caveat them for a client. A median market is not your house. Your house needs specific comps. But look at the spread. There are entire communities in counties sitting 30 to 40% below the county median, with freeway access, with real housing stock, with actual revitalization happening around the world. So when somebody on the internet tells you housing is finished, they're averaging across the entire planet. Nobody buys the entire planet. You buy a street, you buy a block, you buy a specific house on the corner, and that transaction is won or lost based on comps, condition, timing, and negotiation. That is the whole job. So let's talk about the person I work with the most, a seller who has to buy after they sell. You already own, you have equity. You need to sell and buy, and you're paralyzed because you're trying to time two transactions at once. And here's what I tell you sitting at your kitchen table. 1, know your real number before you do anything else. I'm not talking about a Zestimate. I'm talking about a comp-based number for your actual house, plus your actual net after payoff and costs. Most people are carrying more equity than they think, and it's the reason that they feel stuck. Number 2, understand the rate math honestly. The 30-year fixed averaged 6.66% the week ending July 30th, the highest since July 2025. About 76% of mortgage homeowners have a rate under 6%, and that lock-in is real. I'm not going to tell you it isn't, but run the actual numbers on the trade. Do not guess. And if you're moving into more space or a better location, a property that ends the commute, the payment difference is a number, and that number can be planned around. Fear cannot. Number 3, sequence it. Don't gamble it. Contingent offers, rent back, bridge financing, or sell and then buy. These are the 4 ways to do this, and they are not equally good for your situation. This is exactly the conversation I want to have with you before you list, not after. 4, market the sale like it matters, because it does. I don't put a sign in the front yard and hope. Every listing I take gets a property analysis, a custom strategy, and a marketing plan before it ever goes live. My listings have sold 3 to 4% over asking in under 10 days in this exact 2026 market. That over asking spread is often the entire difference on your next down payment. So here's what I want you to do. First, I put together a Los Angeles Homebuyer's Guide. It walks through the entire process step by step, what you need before you shop, how the financing actually works, what to expect at each stage, and the questions most people don't find out they should have asked until they're already in escrow. The guide is free. The link is in the description and pinned in the comments. Go download it. Number 2, if you're a homeowner in LA County thinking about a move in the next 12 months, don't try to figure out the secrets from a YouTube video. Not even this one. Reach out to me directly. and let's build that actual plan for your situation, your house, your numbers, your timeline. What your home is realistically worth today, what you net, and what the next purchase actually looks like at today's rates. And I'll tell you something I tell every client. If you're not sure about something that you're signing, I'll come to you, your house, a Starbucks, wherever. I'll walk the contract with you page by page in English or in Spanish. I do that in person because a document you don't understand is a document you shouldn't sign. And last thing, I'm not here to tell you everything is perfect. There's real stress in parts of this market, and I showed it to you. Insurance costs in this county are a real problem, and affordability is also a real problem. But prices will never recover is not an analysis. It's a book promotion. The data says something much more boring and useful. This is a normal, competitive, expensive market where prepared people do well and underprepared people get beat by someone who was prepared. Be the prepared one.